What is a retaining wall? It is a structure that are designed and constructed to withstand lateral pressure of soil or hold back soil materials. The lateral pressure could be also due to earth filling, liquid pressure, sand, and other granular materials behind the retaining wall structure. Retaining walls are structures that support backfill and allow for a change of grade. For instance, a retaining wall can be used to retain fill along a slope, or it can be used to support a cut into a slope. Retaining wall structures can be gravity-type structures, semi-gravity type, cantilever, and counterfort type structures. Walls might be constructed from materials such as fieldstone, reinforced concrete, gabions, reinforced earth, steel, and timber. Each of these walls must be designed to resist the external forces applied to the wall from earth pressure, surcharge, water, earthquake, etc. Prior to completing any retaining wall design, it is first necessary to calculate the forces acting on the wall. Then the types of retaining walls are 1. L-shaped, 2. Gravity, 3. Cantilever, gabion, piled retaining, mechanically stabilized earth or MSE, crib wall, counterfort or buttressed, anchored, and lastly, hybrid systems. Ito naman yung drawing niya. So, ito yung gravity wall. Usually, this is defined by the mass or the weight of the structure itself. Wala siyang extra na extension nung footing, unlike dito sa T-shaped wall and cantilever and L-shaped wall. So this relies solely on the bulk of the mass itself. And then we have the inverted T, and then the L-shaped, and then the cantilever wall. Itong cantilever, it is a combination of gravity and L-shaped wall. So, ang ide-design natin dito would be itong first 3, 1, 2, and 3. Para sa L-shaped retaining wall, it is widely used retaining wall structure designed to hold back soil and maintain different ground levels. It consists of a vertical stem, which is ito, and horizontal base slab. Usually, yung base slab, yan yung nasa ilalim ng soil, and then itong front face, ito naman yung nakaharap sa kalsada. It utilizes the weight of the soil above the slab to counterbalance the lateral earth pressure, efficient and economical for moderate height applications, and it is made commonly from reinforced concrete. And then we have the gravity retaining wall. It depends on its self-weight only to resist lateral earth pressure. Gravity retaining wall is massive because it requires significant gravity load to counteract soil pressure. Sliding, overturning, and bearing forces shall be taken into consideration in the design. It can be constructed from different materials such as concrete, stone, and masonry units. It is economical for a height up to 3 meters. Crib retaining wall, gabions, and bin retaining wall are also type of gravity retaining walls. And then number 3, we have cantilever retaining wall. It is composed of stem and base slab. It is constructed from reinforced concrete, precast, or pre-stressed concrete. It is the most common type used as retaining walls. It is either constructed on site or prefabricated off-site. The portion of the base slab beneath backfill material is termed as heel. Ito siya. And the other part is also called a toe. Ito naman yung nasa harapan. Cantilever retaining wall is economical up to height of 10 meters. It requires smaller quantity of concrete compared with gravity wall. This is similar to gravity wall. Sliding, overturning, and bearing pressure shall be taken into consideration. Para sa gravity retaining wall, ito yung common dimensions niya. So yung top ng retaining wall, ang minimum ay 0.3 meters or 1 foot up to h all over 12, wherein the h is from the top of the retaining wall up to the base of the footing. And then yung minimum butter or slope is 1:48, or 1 part horizontal and 48 parts vertical. And then etong depth ng footing, this is equal to h all over 8 to h all over 6. Tapos yung base naman ng footing is 0.5 to 0.7 of h. So ayan, magdedepend yan sa heights. And then etong toe is 0.2 meters to equal to this dimension d. And then for gravity wall, ito naman yung modes of failure niya. Ito, bearing pressure. So yung lupa dito sa ilalim ng toe, yan ang lumambot. So magfe-fail siya, no? And then yung sliding pressure naman, yung wall mo is itinulak ng lateral earth pressure. And then yung overturning pressure naman is hindi enough yung weight ng gravity wall to resist the lateral force. So dito sa overturning, mapapansin nyo na yung base ng footing is naiwan doon, hindi siya nag-move. So yung top ang nag-move. Unlike sa sliding pressure, yung movement sa taas is the same as the movement at the bottom. And then sa dimensions naman ng cantilever retaining wall, eto siya. So yung W sa taas, ang minimum niyan ay 250 mm. So this is less than 1 foot. And then you have here the stem, or yan yung pinaka parang gravity wall niya. Tapos ito yung toe. The toe is always at the top of the road. And then yung heel naman, ito, it is always at the top of the soil which is being retained by the structure. So yung L, yan yung dimension ng footing or ng base. It is equal to 0.5 of height to 2/3 of height. By the way, etong H, yan yung overall height ng structure from the base of the footing to the top of the wall. And then yung D, this is the thickness of the footing. This is 0.1 of H. And then dimension C, this is the width of the lower width of the stem. This is also 0.1 H. And then yung B naman, ito yung length ng toe. This is 0.25 of L to 0.33 of L. And then yung width sa taas or W, that is 250 mm. And then number 4, this is gabion retaining wall. Usually ito walang konkreto ito. Pinagpatong-patong lang na bato, and then it is held in place by these gabion wires. Gabion retaining wall are walls that are multi-celled rectangular wire mesh boxes usually filled with rocks. So ang bawat cell niyan is ito, it is encased by gabion wires. It is employed for construction of erosion control structures. It is also used to stabilize steep slopes. Ang advantage nito, madaling mag-flow yung tubig. Kasi yung tubig, nagko-contribute yan ng saturation ng soil. Tsaka kapag saturated ang soil, bumibigat ang unit weight ng soil mass. So yun ang purpose kung bakit ang mga retaining walls merong weep holes or mga butas para dun mag-flow yung mga saturation niya. And then 5, you have piled retaining wall. These are constructed by driving reinforced concrete piles adjacent to each other. Ito yung concrete piles. Usually mga bilog yan, ano? Piles are forced into a depth that is sufficient to counter the force which tries to push over the wall. It is employed in both temporary and permanent works. Piled walls offer high stiffness retaining elements which are able to hold lateral pressure in large excavation depths with almost no disturbance to surrounding structures or properties. Ito naman ang common, yung sheet pile walls. These are built using steel sheets into a slope or excavations up to a required depth, but it cannot withstand very high pressure. Sheet pile retaining wall is economical up to a height of 6 meters. And then number 6, we have the MSE or mechanically stabilized earth. It is among the most economical and most commonly constructed retaining walls. Mechanically stabilized earth retaining wall is supported by selected fields or granular and held together by reinforcements which can be either metallic strips or plastic meshes. Types of MSE include panel, concrete block, and temporary earth retaining walls. And then 7, we have crib retaining wall. These are a form of gravity wall. They are constructed of interlocking boxes made from timber or precast concrete. The boxes are filled with crushed stone or other coarse granular materials to create a free draining structure. Basic types of crib retaining walls include reinforced precast and timber retaining walls. It is suited to support planter areas, but it is not recommended for support of slopes or structures. So itong type na ito, hindi siya common dito sa lugar natin. And then number 8, we have counterfort or buttressed retaining wall. It is a cantilever retaining wall but strengthened with counterforts. Ito yung tinatawag na counterforts. Monolithic with the back of the wall and slab. Counterfort spacing is equal or slightly larger than half of the counterfort height. Counterfort wall height ranges from 8 to 12 meters. And then 9, anchored retaining wall. This type is employed when the space is limited or thin retaining wall is required. Anchored retaining wall is suitable for loose soil over rocks. It is considerably high retaining wall, can be constructed using this type of retaining wall structure system. Cable rods or wires are driven deep into the earth, then the ends are filled with concrete to provide anchor. Anchors or tiebacks acts against overturning and sliding pressures. So kumbaga, ito yung wall, nakatali siya, Ayan. And in some cases, yung mga wires na yan ay pre-stressing wires. And then, itong type ng retaining wall, hindi rin ito common dito sa lugar natin. And then number 10, hybrid systems. These are retaining walls that use both mass and reinforcement for stability, are termed as hybrid or composite retaining wall systems. And then, ito naman ang common ngayon sa tabi ng mga bundok natin, which is soil nailing. Soil nailing is used to reinforce soil. It is used for slopes, excavations, and retaining walls to make it more stable. So meron siyang mga procedures. First is drilling holes. Ayan. And then inserting nail and grouting. And then applying plates. And then spraying shotcrete. And then the types of soil nailing techniques. Number 1, drilled and grouted soil nailing method. In this type, the holes are drilled in walls or slope face. Then, nails are inserted in the pre-drilled holes. After that, the hole is filled with grouting materials such as concrete. Finally, the diameter of nails ranges from 100 to 200 mm with spacing of 1.5 meters. Bihira lang ako nakakakita nito sa mga roads natin kasi yung mga nails na nakikita ko nasa diameter ng 1 inch. Ito 4 inches na tong 100 mm. So number 2, driven soil nailing method. It is used for temporary stabilization of soil slopes. It is considerably fast. However, it does not provide corrosion protection to the reinforcement steel or nails. The nails are driven in the slope face during excavation. Diameter of the nail is around 19 mm to 25 mm, which is comparatively small. Lastly, nail spacing is 1 meter to 1.2 meters. And then 3. Self-drilling soil nailing method. Hollow bars are used in self-driven soil nailing method. Bars are drilled into the slope surface. Grout injected simultaneously during the drilling process. It is faster than drilled grouted nailing. Lastly, self-drilling soil nailing method provides more corrosion resistance to nails than driven nails. And then 4. Jet grouted soil nailing method. Jets are used for eroding the soil for creating holes in the slope surface. After that, steel bars are installed in this hole and grouted with concrete. Finally, jet grouted soil nailing provides good corrosion protection for the steel bars or nails. Lastly is number 5, launched soil nail method. Ito yung similar dun sa nakikita natin sa mga daanan ng bundok. Sa mga going to dadaan sa bundok. In this method of soil nailing, the steel bars are forced into the soil with a single shot using compressed air mechanism. The installation of soil nails is fast but controls over length of bar penetrating the ground is difficult. It is utilized to reinforce an unstable or potentially unstable soil mass capacity into the sliding soil. Finally, nail diameter is 38 mm and its length is around 6 meters. Applications are number 1, stabilization of existing retaining wall. 2, excavating retaining structures in urban areas for high-rise buildings and underground facilities. Landslide redemption. Stabilization of highway and roadway embankments and cut slopes, tunnel portals in unstable and steep stratified slopes, construction and retrofitting bridge abutments, steep cutting stabilizations, stabilization of oversteep existing embankments, and it provides long-term stability to existing concrete structures without demolition and rebuilding costs. Lastly, temporary excavation shoring. Soil nailing installation considerations. Number 1. Soil nails must penetrate beyond the slip plane into the passive zone, typically for 4 to 5 meters. So, ito yung tinatawag na slip plane. Yan yung plane na kapag walang retaining structure, yung soil is mag-i-slide. Tapos, yung surface or plane na hindi mag-i-slide, yun yung tinatawag na slip plane. And then, kasi beyond this slip plane, hindi na mag-fail yung soil or hindi na siya mag-erode. And then 2, the spacing of soil nails in horizontal or vertical direction must be related to strength of the soil. Extra soil nails should be installed at the edge of any surface being stabilized. Number 3, finally, soil nailing should start immediately after excavation. Any delay may lead to collapse of soil slope. So thank you for listening.